is all of the excitement around artificial intelligence. I'm curious to hear from your perspective how you actually see the business opportunity in artificial intelligence over here in the UAE.
Well, that's a great question. We're very early in AI. It reminds me back in 1998, 99, the internet boom. And it seems like everything's AI all the time, everywhere right now. And it's very exciting. I think it's going to be like the internet boom in that we're at the very beginning of a 20-year cycle where productivity will really increase using these technologies. It'll change everything. It'll be integrated into every business. And it's interesting, this region of the world in Dubai, UAE is investing billions in AI and creating, I think, a big AI infrastructure here.
Yeah. It felt as though the big catalyst for people to start talking more about generative AI was the launch of ChatGPT a couple of years ago. But recently we've also had the rise of DeepSeek, yes, which is very disruptive to US stock markets, I would say, initially. How do you see the advent of DeepSeek, and how is it going to change the landscape for generative AI?
Well, basically, DeepSeek, the big advantage of DeepSeek is it doesn't take huge amounts of GPUs. When they first loaded ChatGPT right now, it's costing $500 million to load the model. And obviously, most corporations can't build their own proprietary AI model for $500 million. It'd be very few. So DeepSeek has really lowered that cost. There are companies, new companies, that I've invested in a company called Liquid AI, that is based on some scientists at MIT studied a worm's brain, and they come up with a neural network model which really reduces the cost of loading that model probably by 80 or 90%, a little bit like DeepSeek.
Yeah, you know, all of what you're telling me sort of implies that what the market had penciled in for dominance in terms of chips with NVIDIA is perhaps a little overhyped, because if you can actually produce these models with lower tech chips, then there isn't going to be as great a need for them. Do you agree with that assessment?
You know, I think NVIDIA is going to do fine, because at the end of the day, the more powerful the chip is, the more you can do with AI. So AI is going to have a voracious need for power. And so on the software side, companies like Liquid AI will lower the cost of loading the model. But on the hardware side, NVIDIA will have chips that can process more and more and more. And you know, Elon Musk has built a huge farm, and people are building huge chip farms. So I think NVIDIA is going to have be an incredible company for a long period of time, because there's a voracious need for more computing and more power. And the more power you have, the more the computer system becomes like a human mind. It'll open up huge amounts of possibilities.
What sectors do you think are going to be the most disrupted by AI applications?
Well, I think first it would be things like service centers and call centers. Even it's happening right now. The AI can answer those questions, you know, faster, better, cheaper than a human. Healthcare will be a huge area in terms of getting patient records and diagnosis, and I think we're going to see major advances in biotech as biotech becomes integrated with AI. Think about biotech. 20 years ago, I think it cost $2 or $3 billion to map the human genome. That finally happened 20 years ago. Well, right now you can get a human genome map for $100. You can get your own genetic profile. Well, with AI, you can combine all those and do incredible research, and maybe do simulated clinical trials to really rapidly bring drugs to the market. So that's going to change the whole biotech and tech industry. And
what is the purpose that you're looking to achieve with Liquid AI, the company that you founded?
Well, it was founded by Daniel Arous and Rahman Hassani at MIT, and I'm one of the lead investors. But their objective really is to bring AI to even phone devices, because when you reduce the power need, this is a perfect system for what's called edge devices, and that'll revolutionize your assistant on the phone. You already see that happening. And as the system gets more and more efficient, you're going to be able to do more and more on your phone and organize your life, and it's going to give you directions, and the possibilities are endless.
What do you think is going to determine the winners and the losers in the race for AI applications? Because everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it's kind of like the internet boom in 1999. Now, I think where it's different is in 1999, it ended up that it was a winner take all. So Google kind of took it all, Facebook took it all, many unicorns, 5 or 6 companies. I think it's going to be broader based with AI, because AI, really the power of it is determined by the inputs. And so there'll be many vertical applications. So there'll be AI for healthcare, AI for engineering. And when you load the specifics in, you'll get really crisp and better answers. So I think a lot of companies will win by verticalizing, and there'll be probably 4 or 5 companies that have general LLMs that answer general questions, probably disrupting people like Google. You won't Google anymore, you'll go to an AI system and just get the answer to the question rather than 5 articles that help you answer the question.
Yeah, what do you see as the future of the hyperscalers then? Because you hear the likes of these big tech companies investing $50 billion, $100 billion in CapEx this year. Are they going to be able to monetize?
I think they will, because again, this was a similar question when I was out in Silicon Valley in 1999. People said, boy, there's just too much money going into the internet. What's the internet going to do? Well, it's revolutionized our lives. It's integrated education across the world. It's integrated film across the world. So AI is going to do the same thing. So it's going to require huge amounts of server farms to do that. Film across the world. So AI is going to do the same thing. So it's going to require huge amounts of server farms to do that. And it'll just continue to grow on itself. You make movies can be made start to finish, using AI today.
Do you think US is going to continue to lead the way in terms of AI dominance?
I think
innovation?
It's a little bit like Sputnik and the deep think issue is the US and China are probably leading the way, but even in this region they're investing billions and bringing in great talent. So there'll be pockets all over the world, but the U.S. is a great infrastructure for developing AI. It has great entrepreneurial systems. It has the most venture capital in the world. So it definitely has an advantage, but I think you're going to see AI growing all over the world, China, this region as well.
Well, I was going to ask you about China as well. Again, DeepSeek was a big event for the rest of the world, but also a big event for China too. Do you see them catching up with the U.S. anytime soon in terms of these high-tech?
Well, they graduate, thousands, hundreds of thousands of engineers. They lead the world in engineering and STEM, and so I think they'll be a huge force. But I think the U.S. will be very competitive as well.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
And I think they'll make each other better, actually, and it'll be better for the world in the long run.